The Canada Revenue Agency will be issuing a one-time grocery rebate payment to eligible Canadians. It comes months after Ottawa passed the one-time benefit as part of the 2023 Liberal budget. The affordability measure is set to roll out around $11 million to low and modest income Canadians. Eligible people will receive from $234 up to $628, depending on if you are single or have a partner or have up to 4 children. This will be added on to the GST rebate. For more on this, we're joined live by Michael Widener, who's Associate Professor at the University of Toronto. Now, Michael, thank you so much for joining us today. We have to start off with, which might seem like the easiest question, $600. That's the maximum that many people could get. Is that enough money?
Well, it certainly will help, especially for people who are stretched quite thin. I mean, we're in a situation right now where rent is incredibly high, transportation costs are high, and grocery bills continue to be higher than ever. I mean, we're still 8% up year on year with our grocery prices as compared to where we were in 2022. So $600, while it may seem like it isn't enough for a year, it will really help some people right away, right now.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about why this is necessary. It's food insecurity, right? Cost of living. These are the things that are going up. So giving people a one-time payment, would you see this as more of a Band-Aid solution to the wider issue at hand?
Yes, I mean, it's absolutely a Band-Aid solution. So while it will help some people right now with real immediate needs, it isn't necessarily going to help things in the long term, because we are effectively injecting a large amount of cash into the economy in a moment where we are facing inflation. So the long-term effects of this won't necessarily be helping the people we want to be helping with this. So the question really is, how can government impact things like food insecurity, access to housing in ways that won't worsen inflation? I think one of the big things we need to think about is how can we consider things like transportation costs, rent, and groceries all at the same time when thinking about policy solutions.
Let's get a little deeper into that then. What better long-term solutions would you like to see? So you're saying policy here and there, but let's talk more concrete.
Yeah, I mean, I think for places like Toronto, especially, all of this money is coming out of the same bank account for most people, right? So if your rent is going up to $2,000, $3,000 a month, that's going to be money you can't necessarily spend on groceries. So a policy that's going to help reduce rent, increase access to housing, will actually be helping people afford groceries week to week, even if we're not necessarily targeting groceries directly. So I think the federal government and provinces and cities even need to be thinking a bit more creatively around how we can think about the whole household budget and reduce costs overall across the entire system.
We've talked a little bit about rent, of course, the overall cost of living. But let's go back to the food insecurity, the cost of food itself. Many people are confused about why this is happening. We know inflation, of course, is a factor, but some are pointing to a lack of competition among food retailers. Is that a trend that you're seeing playing a factor?
Yeah, it's one of many, right? I mean, we are starting to see agricultural prices decrease, but grocery prices are impacted more than just the food that's being grown out there. So there's labor costs, transportation costs. And then in the Canadian context, we have only a handful of major grocery chains. So anything that the government can do to encourage more competition or to put checks on how much profit some of these companies are making, especially in a moment right now where grocery prices are going up so much. So we really need to be thinking about food as really something everyone needs. It's a right. And we need to be thinking about ways that we can ensure every Canadian has access to the food they need to be food secure.
That's exactly right. Michael Widener with the University of Toronto, thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.